Well, amid all of this market volatility, Cowen is out with a warning saying that U.S. stocks may not be able to, quote, power through the coronavirus like they did with the SARS outbreak. Joining me now is Kevin Kopelman, a senior hotels and online travel analyst at Cowen. And Kevin, thanks so much for joining me today. When we take a look at the fact that you're saying that markets won't be able to power through it like they did with SARS, why are we seeing a difference here?
Well, I think it's important to understand that the trajectory of the outbreak is still increasing. Mm-hmm. So yesterday there were 464 new cases outside of China that were confirmed, and that was a new high. And if you look at what the CDC in the U.S. said, they said it was a question of when, not if, it comes to the U.S. And how are they so sure? Well, if you look at the numbers, there have been a couple million of inbound visitors, international visitors from affected areas into the U.S. year to date. And the CDC has only tested about 450 people for coronavirus. So we are going to see, we believe, based on this information, future outbreaks probably in North America and Europe.
So you closely travel the travel industry at large. When you take a look at what a lot of these companies have to do just in order to try and protect their business, try and make sure profits don't dip or revenues don't dip as much as maybe they could because of this outbreak, what do they do in this situation?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it depends on the kind of company, but as we're looking at that other side of it, some of our companies under our coverage are very financially sound. So if you look at a Booking or a Marriott or Hilton, they have very high margins, and we think they'll be able to weather that storm. And in the case of the online travel companies like Booking Holdings and Expedia, they have a lot of advertising expenditures, for example. They can cut those back significantly to try to, basically try to maintain their financial situation as the storm passes.
When we take a look at some of these numbers that have also been put out, the International Air Transport Association estimating that the outbreak could cost the airlines $30 billion in revenue in 2020. The organization revised its forecast from 4.8% growth in the industry to an 8.2% contraction. Are those numbers that we have seen before?
Well, when you look at that number, they already said that would be significantly worse than the impact from the SARS virus, but that was before the spread to Korea and Italy and to the Middle East. So, I mean, going back to just one of these key points here, travel in affected areas declines severely. Hotels in China or the hotel industry is down over 90% year over year. So what we're going to see is very deep cuts where the outbreaks happen. However, looking past that, we do expect there to be a strong rebound eventually after it passes. You're going to have pent-up demand. People will be traveling. And so we're increasingly trying to look past that, especially as the valuations get cheaper and the stocks have been coming down.
Kevin, how long do you expect this to weigh on these companies? Are we talking the current quarter, second quarter? Is it into the second half of the year, possibly into 2021? How do you read that?
So the first question is, when is it absolutely worst? Right now, it's still getting worse for most of the world. So where's the bottom? We're assuming right now that that's either in Q1 or in early Q2. And then you're looking at probably kind of a 6 to 9 month recovery period where I think initially you have a strong initial recovery, but to get fully back up to previous travel levels is going to take a few quarters.
Right, Kevin Kopelman of Cowen, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.